So I thought I'd have a little play, and while I'm at it I'll just give a little talk to you about the Module 2 test. There's a couple of myths surrounding the Mod 2 test that I just need to dispel as I do the talk. And also I wanted to show you very briefly about the clutchless gear changing on this bike. It's going to take a minute to show that. So when I go to do the overtake I'll show you. Okay, watch my right hand on the throttle when I go to do the overtake. It's a very clever thing on this bike, it's called a quick shifter. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to wait for a good overtake. But the quick shifter basically means you can keep your throttle open and then just change gear. Okay, I get myself into a nice reactive gear. Okay. Isn't that lovely? How smooth is that? Just close it down a little bit. Okay, and again, ready? Throttle open. Keep it open. Keep it open. So the problem when I try to do a preload on this, I put a little bit of pressure on the gear stick while I'm accelerating. Look what happens. Just change gear. I don't use it all the time, but it's nice when you're doing an overtake or having a little bit of fun on the bike. Okay, Mod 2 test. When you first turn up to the test centre, hopefully you'll be with your instructor who's given you an hour's polish-up lesson beforehand. The examiner will call your name out and take you into a small room where he'll check your licence, your paper counterpart, your theory test, your CBT certificate, and if it's your Mod 2, he'll be checking your Mod 1 certificate too. And he'll get you to sign your name to say on the declaration that your vehicle's insured. And then he'll take you out to your bike where he'll make sure that the bike's taxed. He'll then ask you a show me tell me question, which could be about maybe your horn or your tyres or your chain tension or your steering. There could be a number of questions. Again, you can either find these out on the internet or you can ask your local instructor. Once he's happy with that, he'll take you out for a ride, and this is where the first myth comes in. People think that the examiner is trying to catch you out. He's not. If he takes you to a one-way street, or if he takes you to a stop line, or takes you into heavy traffic, all he's doing is just checking that you can deal with the situations and you know the rules of the road. It's not difficult really, is it? Please bear in mind that the examiner is a biker. He's not just a bloke with a job like a lot of the car examiners. This guy actually rides a bike because he wants to. So he's got the job, and it's something he wants to do. He wants to see bikers on the road as well. I've also spoken to them on numerous occasions on a personal basis, and they are just real people like you and me. Basic story, I went out with an examiner when he was in a car once. This is myth number 2. They don't take a car when it's snowing or raining. If it's really bad weather, they'll call the test off. They only take a car when either they're a fill-in instructor and there isn't a bike available for them to use, or their bike is being serviced or repaired for some reason. That's the only time they'll do it. On this occasion I went out with the examiner a few years ago following one of the pupils, and trust me, the guy that I had just trained wasn't the guy that I was watching riding. So when somebody says I rode really well an hour before and all of a sudden the examiner failed me, the examiner didn't fail you, you failed yourself. He just let you know about it. And the examiner actually said to me, Russ, is this the guy you trained? And I said, honestly Mick, I have never seen anything like it. The guy is terrible. He says, this is the problem we get. We can only mark what we see. And if somebody isn't riding safely, then we're going to have to fail them. It's as simple as that. So it sort of brought it home to me. Another one with a pupil complaining about not taking effective rear observations before changing direction, and he swears blind he was checking over his shoulder every 15 seconds whether he liked it or not. But it just so happened, about 4 seconds after one of his checks, he needed to change lanes and there was a car there, and he just barged out on the car and caused the car to brake that heavily, but he had no idea what he'd just done, but the examiner saw it. So, trust your examiner. Okay, so we'll take you out for a ride. It might pull you in behind a parked car, just to see if you can get a decent view when you're pulling away. If you need to, you can edge out. And he's also checking that you're giving this car plenty of clearance as well. Then he'll do an independent ride. He'll say, I'd like you to follow the signs for the A612 to Southwell or Southwell or what have you, and he just wants to see that you're planning ahead. Now if he blatantly tells you to turn left at first exit to the roundabout and you indicate right and turn right, you won't even get a minor fault for that, provided you do it correctly. If you suddenly start indicating left or right or whatever, realise you said the other one, and then change your mind and cut across all the traffic, of course you're going to fail. So the best thing to do, and the best way to think about it, is basically sod it. I'll either pass and test this time, or I'll pass it next time. And that'll tend to take a little bit of the pressure off you. So I hope this helps you out a little bit, and also please bear in mind, if you do ask me specific questions on my videos, I'm not always able to answer them. A lot of the questions that you ask really need to be asked at a school, and you need somebody following you, because my videos are only what my pupils are doing at that particular time. It doesn't mean that you're going to do that, and you might need your riding looking at, because of course you're going to make mistakes, and if you knew there were mistakes, you put them right. So you actually need somebody else to help you. So I hope this has helped you out, people, and then when you pass your test you can get one of these babies and have a little bit of fun. But just remember, there's a time and a place to do it. Take care.